Hi everybody. I want to go over how to fill out the Unit 1 Literature Review Essay Planner. So this is a worksheet that you are going to fill in based on the two articles that you found on your debatable topic. So the first item is simply to list your topic. So this should be your approved debatable topic. So for example, it might be, should farms reduce the use of antibiotics for their animals? So whatever your topic is, you're going to write it there. Um, the, the underlining there could cause a little bit of a problem, but just do the best you can. The next item is 6 boxes for you to record the search terms that you used when you found your two articles. So just type in there the words that you used. So you probably used antibiotic, you may have used the word resistance, you used the word and, you used the word farm, you used the word animals. So at least give me the search terms that you used. Then you're going to give me a little information that you learned about your topic. So a little bit of the history of this issue. This is limited to the two articles that you found. So based on that information, what do you know about the origin or the background of this topic? So give a little bit of information. In this case, it would probably be nice to know that, you know, antibiotics were first used such and such a date. They were considered a miracle. And then, of course, later on we had antibiotic resistant bacteria and other germs. And that raised, of course, the concern about what will happen if we no longer have effective antibiotics. So again, giving that background information. The next question is, what is the debate? So what is, and again, this really could be your topic. Basically in this example, it would be whether or not use of antibiotics need to be reduced to prevent antibiotic resistant germs. Oops. Antibiotics. Let's see if we can spell this correctly. All right, then it asks for the first perspective and the second perspective. What we mean by that are the two sides on the issue. So there are those who say, yes, use needs to be reduced to prevent, wide-scale illness. And then others that may say, no, there's no need to reduce the use. So again, look at those two different perspectives. The next question asks about the scope of the literature and the purpose of a literature review. And so what is your purpose in researching this topic? For the literature review, it is primarily informational. So you're just trying to get some background knowledge about what is happening with this debatable issue. So you would explain that here. And then why is this important? And of course, you chose this topic, so you should have a compelling reason as to why it's worth spending time investigating this issue. So you can write your comments there. Then we come to the section of creating research questions, and this was in your reading, so hopefully you've done that. And we want you to come up with 3 good research questions that would help focus your research as you want to find more about this issue. Of course, you want to focus on sort of the how, the what, the why, as opposed to questions that just require a date or a simple yes or no answer. So come up with 3 different questions. For each of them, you're also going to reflect on that question. So if you ask, how does antibiotic use result in antibiotic resistance? What would be the purpose of that? Well, this would be to understand how important this issue is and what the mechanisms are, the cause effect, if you will. And then comment a little bit on how strong you think this question is in terms of understanding the issue and any weaknesses of this question. So maybe this will help me understand the background, but it really isn't giving me good reasons to stop using antibiotics, or maybe it's not explaining how one could stop using antibiotics. And so these are kind of thoughtful reactions as you think about the question that you posed. So put a question for each of these three boxes and then answer the three or give comments for these three items for each of your questions. All right, then we go into the analysis of each of your sources. So for source one, you're going to write down all of the citation information. Be as thorough as you can. Put down the author, put down the date, put down the title of the article, put down where it came from. So did it come from the Encyclopedia of Evolution? Did it come from the Centers for Disease Control? Where did it come from? A magazine, a publication? Write down that information. And then if you got this from the internet, then here you would need to put the URL, the web address, the full web address for the article, and just copy and paste that here. For the summary of your article, first decide what the overall main idea is of that article and write it here. Then you're going to pick out three major points that the article is making, trying to pick out the most important key points. Explain what that point is, give an example from the text, and here you should say it in your own words as opposed to just copying and pasting it. And then here you will show the citation. Now we haven't gone into this a lot, but the basic citation form is to put down the last name of the author, comma, and the year. And that should work for your articles. Occasionally you do not have an author. If you don't, for example, if you found it from the Centers for Disease Control and it doesn't have a named author, instead of the single author, you would put the group author, which would be the Centers for Disease Control. So either the author or the group author should work here. And of course, I'll give you feedback if you have difficulties with this, but do your best. Notice the parentheses. All right, and you'll do that for three different major details in the article. For the analysis, this is where you're going to use the CRAT test and apply it to your article. So first, explain how this article relates to your research questions. Does it answer one of them or more than one of them? And so how good is this article in helping you understand this issue? And that would be a sentence or two. And then in the chart, you're going to explain the currency of your article, how recent it is, the relevancy, how tied to your topic it is, the authority, where does it come from? Is this person knowledgeable or is this organization trustworthy? The accuracy of the information and how you would know that. And the purpose of the article. Is it to persuade? Is it to inform? That kind of thing. Then write down what you think the strength of this article is, as well as the weakness of the article. You're going to do the same thing for source 2. So put down all the citation information. For the article from Credo, you will not need to paste the Credo link, but do give me the author, the date, the title, and the name of the reference that the article came from. Here you'll have your main idea and major details. your crop test and evaluation of the article. And then we get to the reflection section of this document. Now that you've read these two articles, what do you know about the topic? So give a brief description. In these articles, what patterns or themes do you see rising to the top about this issue? Are there common concerns or common issues? So try to think of those points that are maybe mentioned in both articles. What gaps are still in this research? I can't imagine both articles answered every single question you might have. So what more do you need to research? What aspects of the topic do you need more information about? And then how will this affect your research going forward? So maybe you know that you need to get more scientific information on this, or you need to get more opposing views for this perspective, or whatever it might be. All right, and then for the conclusion section, restate the purpose and importance of this topic and researching this topic, and going forward what your plan would be to learn even more about the topic. All right, and then the last section is for you to give a shot at typing your two sources in reference format. And to do that, you will probably need to go, and let me just go back into the course. You will probably need to go into the APA resources and look at the references page. So you will get some information if you go through that section. Give it a best shot. I will certainly be giving you feedback so that if you make mistakes, it's not a big issue. We just want you to really try and to work with that. All right, that's it. And if you have any questions, please contact me.